let's have a look at this one. Nearly half of young transgender people have attempted suicide. So what does that say? They are depressed, need Jesus Christ. The hidden extent of suicide attempts among younger transgender people has been highlighted in a study. A survey found that 48% of transgender people under 26 they had attempted suicide, and 30% said they had done so in the past year, while 59% said they had at least considering doing so. By comparison, about 6% of all 16 to 24 year olds say they have attempted suicide, according to the Adult Psychiatric Morbidity Survey. The research was conducted by PACE, a mental health charity for lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender people, in partnership with Brunel University, the University of Worcester and London South Bank University. It involved interviews and a survey of more than 2,000 people in England from 2010 and 2004. The report said that suicide last year of Lucy Meadows, a primary school teacher who was transgender after 2 previous attempts, was indicative of a much wider problem. Obviously, yeah, I know it's a shame, don't get me wrong, right? And you know, these people need help. They seriously do. You know, I don't think it's good to spread or to promote transgenderism, because it's not only is it an illness, it is a spiritual problem. People who are spiritually confused need some sort of a deliverance, and I guarantee that people who are very confused, they're thinking about suicide, like I've just mentioned, so it's quite obvious they've got a dark cloud over them anyway to begin with, right? And you can read I don't think I'm going to bother reading, I'm just giving you an idea. If you want to read more, then this is from The Guardian. What percentage of the population is the UK is transgendered, right? When the GRA, Gender Recognition Act, giving birth certificate, change, marriage, etc., rights to TS4 was passed by Parliament, related government literature estimated 6,000 visible transsexual people in the UK. These were people living fully in opposite gender role pre and post-ops who had come to statistical attention through applying for passports, etc. in their changed status, or being referred to, or having passed through gender clinics and the NHS. That's 0.01% of the population, so that is one in 10,000 people. The number figures, as I live in a city of 100,000 people, and I guess 10 transsexuals rings true. I only know of 4. Obviously I'm reading this. Of course, the figure of transsexual people still in the closet is probably 4 times the number if we are looking at adult MNFs, which the statistics may capture. Then the number goes down to 1 in 3,000, and if you really mean transgender to include genderqueer and androgyne, non-ops, transvestites, serious cross-dressers, then it becomes an unquantifiable number, probably in 1 to 5% range with a question mark. But obviously a transvestite is somebody that dresses up now and again as a woman to do pantomimes and stuff like that, or just like, you know, they like to do it. Obviously that's not quite right either, is it? But as you can see, people are bowing down to this transgender sort of cult, and promoting this like no, and confusing little children who probably have been brought up by thinking, you know, I'm a boy, or if a girl's growing up she's going to be thinking she's a girl. But these teachers, there's some teachers that are witches. Do you know that? And they love to confuse, especially the Christians. There were another article which I read about this. Yeah. I'm just going to see if I can find it. School boys. Oh, it was about uniform. That's it. School. Actually, I don't think it's relevant to what I'm saying, but let me just have a quick gander. School uniform, boy sent home and comes back in the skirt. Where is it? Right. Now, this is something a little bit different. It's when it comes up. Head teacher pray. I read this in a different article, in a different newspaper, but this is the Mirror. This has come up. Head teacher praises courageous boy who wore skirt to school after claims he was sent home for not wearing trousers. Right. So, a head teacher has slammed claims that a boy was sent home from school for wearing a skirt instead of trousers. Tony Gavin said his reputation almost went up in smoke after completely false posts on social media suggested the boy had been punished in some way for his choice of uniform. The post suggested that Lawrence Jackson School in Guysborough had sent home the pupil for wearing a regulation uniform skirt, with many posting negative comments about the supposed decision of the school. However, after speaking to head teacher Tony Gavin, the Gazette Live can confirm that this accusation was unfounded, and staff at the school in fact commended the boy's bravery at wearing a skirt. Speaking of the incident, Mr. Gavin said the boy did come home to school wearing a skirt and no one batted an eyelid. In fact, we commend him for being courageous enough to wear a skirt to school. There was a conversation with him about wearing wrong footwear, but we were fine with him wearing the skirt. The head of year teacher and the young lad had a mutually respectful conversation, and the teacher checked on him at lunchtime to see how he was doing. Myself and the teacher then spoke to the boy about uniform as we are reviewing our uniform policy, and said to him that we would like him to input ideas. Prom is also coming up, and we said he could also wear what he likes to that. This week we have even been holding assemblies around student individuality, which are fully support. The school takes a very strong stance against racism and homophobia, and we pride ourselves to that. The one thing... Right, it says here, the one thing that we did say to the lad was that, as if it was 3 days before the exams, it was up to him if he wanted to carry on wearing the skirt. See, they're all for it, aren't they? Wearing a skirt, even if he's a boy. I've seen articles in papers, in the local paper, my son got sent back home from school because he wasn't wearing the right shoes. You know, they might have had a name on or something like that, but they were all black. I read that article. So the teachers like sending them away if they've got like a little bit wrong, but don't give a rat's arse, or they'll love it if they come in dressed as something else, because a lot of teachers are a bit on the weird side. I like teachers, don't get me wrong, and they're very clever individuals, and you know, God's put them there for, you know, to teach the kids, because we all need teachers, don't we, kind of. So there's that as well, but also it's this they're forcing it. They're going to be talking about it all the time and saying, I mean, when I were at school, if anybody wore a skirt for laugh, you know, they used to get, lads used to say, ah, he's wearing a skirt, ah. You know, even if that lad who wore a skirt, because there were no transgenders at my school, and the middle school as well, because obviously it didn't get talked about, and people used to people wasn't a fan of it anyway. Most of the majority. There used to be a drag queen that used to come on anyway, Lily Savage and somebody else, and nobody were a fan of those, I'll tell you now. If some man said, well, I'm watching Lily Savage tonight, or well, some boy, another boy used to say, what, you puff, you know, in a jokingly way. But now it's the, let's bow down. Let's bow down to transgenderism. Come on, let's bow down. You can't say bugger all or whatever. It is a cult, and I'll tell you now, the way it's going, it is satanic to the core, and Jesus is coming back sooner than what you think, fans. This actually makes me want to puke when I hear about it, when I hear stories. Little boys and girls who are very confused with their sexuality. Alright, I know a lot of, there's a percentage that they might be right, but a lot of times it's promotion and speaking about it as well, and we need Jesus Christ. They need Jesus Christ, and we need to pray more, and we need to pray for protection with our kids and send them to very good schools, not just because it says Church of England school. Well, it might be classed as a Christian school, but no, obviously. Yeah, sorry for my rant if people don't like it. If you know any transsexual people, then why don't you send me a message, or put it on my YouTube page where you can type, and just say, pray for such and such, I'm worried about him. Or you might, no, send me a message, and honestly I will pray for him, because I'm a caring person and I want them to be free of their mind. In fact, I'd like to lay hands on people who are sexually confused, pray for them, and ask Jesus to set them free, because he will set them free. I'm Northern Hero, see you again, bye.